So in this video, I want to talk about the problem I have with the new Tomb Raider games. Now, I won't be talking about the gameplay aspect, but I want to focus on the character of Lara Croft herself, because what they're doing with her, it's turning into a mess. But before I can talk about what my problem is with the character and what they're doing, is I want to talk about the history so you can understand where I'm coming from. And I'm going to go into like who Lara Croft is and what they've turned into, because the OG Lara Croft, the original Lara Croft, is not the same as Survival Lara, and I'll explain in this video why. But first I want to go through the history, as I mentioned, because so you can understand of what the differences are between these two characters and who she actually was. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, back in the 90s, Core Design, they created the Tomb Raider franchise, and Lara Croft became an icon. Everybody loved her. Like, she became one of the most popular characters in the world at that time. Like, people liked her character design and what she represented, and you can even say that she was an icon even on she was like the girl boss at that time back in the 90s. She might have actually even defined the term girl boss, because you have a female character that's basically based on Indiana Jones going on to these adventures, being a badass, basically, right? And basically people loved her for the way she was represented. Everybody loved her. Now, the way she was written, now here's the thing, this is the original story of Lara Croft. So the original story of Lara Croft is that she loves the thrill of adventure. So what happened with her is that she's separated from a rich family, because she came from a rich family, and she's separated from them to pursue the life of adventure, because that's what she really wanted to do, right? And obviously, you know, like if you've played the games, you know that the dual wielding pistols that's very iconic for her character. Because she is someone that, like I said, she loves the thrill of adventure, but she also likes that adrenaline rush to go into these dangerous tombs, like very dangerous tombs, to find these like supernatural artifacts. That's the way she was written. Like literally the opening cutscene of the first game, she literally says, "Sorry, I only play for sport," which implies is that she just does it for the thrill of it. It's fun for her to go out to these dangerous tombs, risking her life to try to find these artifacts. Now, she wasn't written to be a hero, but like sometimes when she's going after these artifacts, she'll go up against, you know, bad guys or some type of supernatural force that she needs to defeat, right? And she ends up saving the world doing that. But she was never actually written to be a hero. Now, if I can make a comparison to another character, think of Dragon Ball, think of Goku, right? Goku, he's someone that loves to fight, right? That's the only thing he wants to do, is he loves to fight, and that's what all he trains for. He doesn't train to fight bad guys, right? He does do that, like he does end up saving the world, but that's not what he's training for. He's just someone that trains because he loves to fight and he wants to make himself as strong as possible, if you guys know what I mean. Because if I could, that's the comparison, because Lara Croft is similar to Goku in a sense to where she loves the thrill of adventure. She only goes because she loves the thrill of adventure. She doesn't go there to save the world, right? That's the way she was written. That's who Lara Croft was. So she's basically someone that loves the thrill of adventure. And when she goes after these artifacts, sometimes she does end up saving the world because circumstances, right? So what would happen is that after the 6th game, which was Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness, after that game, because that game flopped, that game was a complete flop, it didn't sell well. And what happened is that Core Design, they actually lost the rights to Tomb Raider, and they also went bankrupt. And the rights after that went to Crystal Dynamics. Now, what Crystal Dynamics did was they created the Legend Trilogy, and not only did they change the gameplay, but they also have made some retcons and some changes to Lara's story. Now, most of her story was the same, except what they did change and retcon was her relationship with her family. So they changed the backstory of her family. So what they decided to do is that this time she was following in her father's footsteps, because he was an adventurer as well. What you know what they did? If you guys have seen the movie with Angelina Jolie, that Tomb Raider movie, they took elements from that movie and they added it into this game. That's what they did. because now because in that movie how her father was an adventurer, and now again then what happens is he was killed, and now she's following in his footsteps. That's what they did for the games going forward. That's what they changed. And also her mother was she disappeared because she touched a sword, I believe it was, if I remember correctly. It was a sword. So she touched it, she disappeared, right? And there was a whole thing with her as well. So yeah, the backstory of her family was completely changed. If you've played Legend and Underworld, you know what I'm talking about. Now, I personally didn't mind those changes because Lara was still Lara, right? And they just changed the backstory to her parents, which personally I didn't mind, right? But after a few years, what they decide to do is that they decide to reboot the Tomb Raider franchise, right? So in 2013, we get the new Tomb Raider game. So in this game, what they decide to do is that they wanted to tell the origins of Lara Croft. So in this game, she's inexperienced, like she doesn't really know what she's doing, right? So throughout this game, Lara is learning how to survive. She's making a bow, she knows how to hunt, and she learns how to fight enemies, and she goes through this thing. So she's learning as she's going through this game. And what happens is that at the end of this game, right, literally on the final boss, right, you do use the dual-wielding pistols, right? And it's like a big thing, like now she's becoming the Tomb Raider, right? So when you beat the boss, then you beat the game, right? Now, personally, I did like this game. I think it was a fun game. I think it was a good origin story for her. The problems I have is what came after this game. This is where the problems start. So the next game, The Rise of the Tomb Raider, for some unknown reason, is that she forgets, like she doesn't even carry the dual wielding pistols anymore. She's now still using the bow and arrow. So she's kind of so we're kind of still telling her origin story even in the sequel game, which is kind of weird. Like she's still stuck in the survival phase in this game, right? She's stuck in it. Now, the thing is also is that what I noticed even in this game, she's becoming a little bit whiny too. Now, I understand in the previous game, because it's an origin story, I understand being whiny a little bit there because she's inexperienced, she doesn't really know what she's doing. In this game now, she's got an idea what she's doing, but she's still a little bit whiny, which is something I didn't like. She's still not battle hardened yet, even though like she goes through these stuff, you know what I mean? Now, as I was going through this game, now I'm thinking is that, this game is literally called Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now, I'm thinking is that 100% at the end of this game, she's going to become Tomb Raider, like the iconic character that she's supposed to become, right? No. In the sequel game comes out, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Once again, we're telling her origin story. She's still in the survival phase. She still has not become the Tomb Raider she's supposed to be. And she's still kind of whiny in this game. Like she's becoming a different character. Because also the thing is that in Shadow of the Tomb Raider is that it's implied that they're trying to make Lara into a hero. To where she's going down to get these dangerous artifacts and put them back where they belong almost. So she's turning into a hero. And that's kind of also what they're saying in when she goes into these adventures, these new ones now, is that she's trying to save the world in a sense now. That's why she's doing it and trying to find the truth. So she's a truth-seeking, world-saving hero now, which is not what Lara is supposed to be. Like, they are really changing her character. Like, look, I actually have suspicions is that Crystal Dynamics does not have the attention to make this Lara into the iconic Lara she's supposed to become. Because the way they've been telling the story, she's going into a completely different direction. She's becoming a very, very different character compared to the way she's supposed to become, what she's supposed to be. She's becoming very different. Like even the anime. Now, I was actually supposed to review the anime, but the thing is, it just confirms my suspicions is that they're moving away. Like this Lara will never become the iconic Lara she's supposed to become. They're moving away from all of that. She's becoming, like I said, a very different character. Because the thing is that she's supposed to become the iconic Lara. Now, the iconic Lara is supposed to be, she's adventure seeking. Like she does it for the fun. She goes on these adventures for fun. And she goes after these artifacts just for fun. Because that's what she loves. She loves the thrill of adventure. That's the original Lara Croft. Right? Because she loves the thrill of adventure. Now, she does end up saving the world sometimes because when she goes after these artifacts. but that's not why she does it. She goes after because she loves the thrill of adventure. Survival Lara is not like that. Survival Lara is when she goes on these adventures is that she's trying to save the world. She's trying to find the truth and trying to save the world at the same time. That's the whole focus of Survival Lara. So she's already a different character. She will never become the iconic Lara. Like another thing is that the original Lara was basically she defined a girl boss, right? But Survival Lara is a bit whiny, I've noticed a few times, which is something I don't like. I don't know why they're deciding to do that. Like even the look, they're changing completely. Like she doesn't even look like iconic Lara. She's missing her dual wielding pistols and she's missing her iconic outfit as well. I don't know, they're moving completely different. Like they're going into a completely different direction. And that's also why the reason why I brought up the comparison with Goku, right? Because it's almost like this, right? Let's say that if they were to reboot Dragon Ball, right? Imagine this for a second. They reboot Dragon Ball, right? They introduce Goku. But this time what they decide to do is that Goku never uses the Kamehameha, never turns into a Super Saiyan throughout the whole series, and he's someone that doesn't like to fight, but the reason he trains is to save the world. That is a different character. No, that's not Goku. He loves to fight. That's why he trains. He doesn't train to save the world. And without even missing with the Kamehameha and going into a Super Saiyan. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the same thing here. Survival Lara is missing the fundamentals of being Lara. That's what I'm trying to... That's why I made that comparison before. She's missing those traits. Like she's missing even the look. Like the only thing that makes her Lara Croft is literally just her name. And maybe she might be like as strong and as athletic as the original Lara. That's it. Everything else is she's a completely different character. That's it. Now, I just want to say one more thing is that Crystal Dynamics has announced the next game and that what they've said is that this next game is going to unite the timelines. Now, what the hell does that even mean? Because does that mean is that they're going to try to join them up somehow? But that won't work because Survival Lara, her origin story happens at the year 2013. While the original Lara Croft was back in the 90s. So you can't exactly join them up. And they don't match. Not only that, their origin stories are completely different as well. So I don't know what they mean by United Timelines. Do they mean is that now we're going to get Tomb Raider, like we're going to get the reboot of the first game? Because if you guys don't know, is that if you play Shadow of the Tomb Raider completely unpatched and you beat the game, the last cutscene is that you get to see, I think it's a letter from Atla, right? Which is supposed to set the events of the first game. But that was cut, right, at last minute. Which if you play the patch version, that scene's not there at all. It's a completely different scene. So is that what they're implying? Like this game is going to be now the reboot? It's not the reboot, the remake of the first game. See, I don't know. That's a weird one there. Also, I hope they don't do this, but I really hope that what they mean by United Timelines, I really hope it's not going to be where we're going to zoom past everything, where we're going to tell a story of Lara Croft when she's retiring, because that's not going to go well. I can guarantee you that. And also, I hope that what they also don't mean is that there's going to be time travel, and we're going to meet like 3 different Laras, let's say. Which I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't do that. But we have to wait and see what they're going to do. But I will give them one more chance. Like for me, the next game is make or break. For me, it's going to be make or break because she's, like I said, they're moving into a completely different direction. They completely changed everything, and there's almost like no point of this anymore. It's almost like a money grab because they're just milking the Tomb Raider name at this point, you know. But we have to wait until the next game to know for sure. So anyway, that's enough from me. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And yeah, thank you for watching. Oh, and also buy the remasters. They're really good. And pre-order the next one. You won't regret it.